this one makes me sad. And it makes me sad for a personal reason because I also did that. I was told from the time I was very, very little child when I said that I saw the dead, or I would tell my mom things and then they would happen, that I was aligned with the devil. From the time I was a tiny, tiny little child, that I was associated with the devil, which didn't make any sense because I was terrified of being associated with the devil. So that made no sense whatsoever. But there are a lot of really bad things that dogma has done that limit people. But think about this. So up until, what was it, the Reformation, people really didn't ever get to read the Bible on their own. It was read in church during Mass. It was usually read in Latin, which meant that when the priest would give the sermon, he would be giving his interpretation, or maybe a little better, the church's interpretation of whatever that passage was that he read. He was literally speaking a different language. So those folks had no idea and had to take his word for it. After the Bible became widely printed in languages other than Latin for folks who spoke other languages, they started to read it and go, wait a minute, I don't think that says what they told me it said. And that's when enlightenment began. We started to realize, oh, wait a minute, his take on this, his being the priest, might not actually be what this says. I'm reading it and that's not what I'm getting from it, which then turned into lots of different religions. But free thinking is always a good thing. So telling people that doing X, Y, or Z is going to align them with the devil will automatically make them have this reaction to, oops, yeah, no, we're not going to go there. I'm not going to do that. Couple that with the fear response that your body has anytime you connect with something other, and that reinforce that belief that you are now aligned with something evil. Communicating with the dead, if you're doing it intentionally and with purpose, not with a Ouija board, not as a seance, not where you're walking into a place that has a lot of history and invoking the dead or inciting the dead, if you're doing it in a very controlled environment with a very specific purpose, you are really not going to get a demon. That is not how you catch demons. I'm saying demons and only using that word because that is the word that everybody's used to hearing. There are evil things. We can be tricked. Like in the case of the last video about whether or not you can make a pact with something evil. I think those people, maybe, I can't imagine that they would think that something different other than what happens would happen, but that's kind of a form of being tricked. They're being given what they asked for. They think that they've made this great deal, and then everything turns on them and they realize that they have now connected themselves for the rest of their life with a rabid dog that can actually kill them. Those are intentional choices. You don't just get an attachment by interacting with your gift. Your gift is another sense. That's like saying that, oh my God, my eyesight is going to cause me to catch a demon. Or I heard a thing and now a demon came in through that sound and is invading my body. Your intuition is just another sense, like your hearing or your sight. For there should be no rational fear about using your intuition and how that might accidentally get you possessed, because that is not a thing.